The Chicago Bulls initially announced that Coby White was going to miss the first 2 weeks of the season, which totaled 6 games. We've now reached that mark, and it's been announced that Coby White will miss the 7th straight game of the season. Leaving in question is Coby White's return coming anytime soon? We're going to discuss it all and more right after this. What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bull Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. And so there has been no substantial update in regards to Coby White, which now leads to, is Coby White returning anytime soon for the Chicago Bulls? And officially, as the Chicago Bulls, injury report got released for yesterday, with Ayo Dosunmu still being listed as questionable on that, which is all fine and dandy considering his injury is fresh. Coby White is still listed out in tomorrow's game for the Chicago Bulls, taking the court tomorrow, and that leaves in some big questions in doubt, right? Coby White, who was announced last week, that Billy Donovan talked in his press conference that Coby White was pain free, which seemed like maybe the last barrier to getting Coby White back on a basketball court for the Chicago Bulls. But now, considering that that right calf sprain is still bothering him to the point where he's not playing in tomorrow's game as well, and now it's been listed as injury/illness, until the Chicago Bulls officially release something, it's going to leave speculation up in air in regards to what that means for Coby White and what it is going to mean for his return and how much that's going to affect the Bulls. Now, keep in mind, after Coby White was initially announced as being out for 2 weeks, there was already some speculation that it could turn into a month. Casey Johnson even himself said wouldn't be surprised if it turns into something a little bit longer than that, and maybe that's the case. Before a calf injury that Coby White apparently suffered in August, the fact that we are now in November and there's still not a return in sight as of yet, it raises some serious questions on it. Now, I do realize that they are being very precautious when it comes to Coby White, because with calf strains, it could turn into Achilles. And if it turns into Achilles, that's where it gets even worse, right? But the fact that Coby White is now at the end of the end of the 2 weeks in 6 games, and there's been no announcement as of yet, it's going to raise some questions. Now, more than likely, Billy Donovan in the pregame presser is going to talk a little bit about Coby White because he is going to be asked about it. And Billy has been typically straightforward in regards to injuries around the Chicago Bulls when he's asked based off the information that he does know. If there's been any setbacks, we'll probably find out then, or if it's just something that they're just still waiting for the tightness to go down. Reportedly now being pain-free for over a week, and a injury or outage that was supposed to leave you out for 2 weeks, it raises those questions. Now, if the Bulls are just being safe with Coby, fine. Like, if the Bulls are playing well right now, yes, they suffered their first loss of the season, but the Bulls are playing very well as it stands right now, and maybe that means that Coby's going to be fine when it all comes down to it. But we shall see what the future does hold for Coby in regards to getting back on the basketball court, because we do need Coby. Despite what some knee-jerk Bulls fans will have you believe that we don't need Coby, or for some adage that the Bulls winning is going to stop when Coby's some selfish player, it really has nothing to do with being based in reality. If you look at this team, if you look at Coby and what he's done over career objectively, you'll see that just is not something that really tells the story of Coby White. Now, with that said, though, it's going to raise some questions. And with Coby being already in a contract year, the question is how that's going to maybe impact those talks at the end of the season. But we'll see. We shall see what's going to happen with Coby White when he's going to get back on the court for the Chicago Bulls. But with that said, and I don't even really like talking about this type of stuff, but on the Zach Lowe podcast, it was something that was raised in regards for Coby White and Zach Collins for Ja Morant swap. And I want to be clear, that doesn't even fit under the salary cap. It's not going to happen. But there's been a lot of talk and speculation on the Bulls possibly acquiring Ja Morant. And here's what I want to say to any and everybody who's asking that question in regards to that. Stop it. Stop it. For a Bulls team that has already said they aren't skipping steps, a Bulls team that has already basically cleared the long-term bad salary, not to say that Ja Morant is necessarily bad salary, but when you look at the flexibility that the Bulls have financially, to then go back to adding a nearly $40 million contract when the biggest contract that the Bulls have is $25 million. And even if Coby gets reportedly what he wants, that's still $19 million less than what Ja Morant is making, which does continue to impact the flexibility. No, this Chicago Bulls team is not trading for Ja Morant. It's not going to happen. And the speculation around it, I get it. I get that Bulls fans want a star, and I get the Bulls fans are losing patience, and I get all of those things. And the Bulls are going to be mentioned with the number of expiring contracts that the Bulls have, the cap flexibility that they have as well. People are going to mention it. But the Bulls locked in their point guard, and that's Josh Giddey. And one thing that we did see, if you have learned anything from what happened with Josh Giddey in OKC, you still want him to be the point. You don't want to continue to add too many guards to this that are going to push him out of what he's doing. And while Josh Giddey has shown tremendous growth so far this season as an off-ball scorer, and the three-point shot has been dangerous for him, and we'll get a little bit more into that on tomorrow's daily episode. Let's pump our brakes a little bit in regards to acquiring big name. Now, maybe that happens in the offseason where the Bulls have a better picture over how this season is going to go as far as acquiring a bigger name. But as it stands right now, the only acquisition I really want to see the Bulls make is a defensive-minded center, whether that's to replace Vooch in the starting lineup or to be there to back up Vooch. And, for right now, as we, go forward maybe into next season, that's really the only thing I'm interested in the Bulls acquiring as things stand right now. And, we'll see. The Bulls do have a number of expirings, and that's going to naturally lead them into being in a lot of these trade rumors and trade talks. On top of, they do have a glaring need of a center on their roster. But guards, I just don't see the Bulls acquiring unless the Bulls have something that we don't know in regards to not keeping Coby White long-term. And even then, I don't think Ja Morant is the one that you're going to acquire if you're looking for a more long-term kind of seamless fit next to Josh Giddey. I don't think that Ja Morant is going to be that, right? So, we'll see what happens. Like I said, the Bulls are going to be mentioned in a number of speculative topics and things leading into the trade deadline, with everything that they have. But for what it's worth, Mark Stein was on CHGO and basically mentioned that, teams are going to call on Coby White, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be answered. And that's something that we've basically heard reverberated through actual Chicago media as well in regards to Coby White and the Bulls potentially moving him, is that the Bulls turned away trade calls on Coby and Io. And while Bulls fans, they don't want to hear that because they want to think that this team is going to be in the next big and great move. It just does not seem like something that is where the Bulls' mindset is. Again, I keep going back to the words that AK said: no missed steps. And no skipping steps, I should say. No skipping steps. And it does not seem like this is a place where the team is right now, and having a palate and a risk tolerance of skipping steps to try to jumpstart some things. We got Modest Buzelis here. We got players that are growing. We just sent Noah Essengay down to the G League, right? So I don't think that the Bulls have the appetite right now for some of these rumors and trades that between Bulls fans and national media pundits are going to put the Bulls in. And we'll see if that changes leading into the trade deadline, especially with the play of Nikola Vucevic. But for what it's worth right now, get back in topic. Coby White, there's no return in sight as things stand right now for Coby White. Does that change sooner rather than later? Let's see if Billy Donovan adds some clarity to that tomorrow in the pregame presser. And let's hope that with that clarity may come a more definitive timeline in what's going on with Coby White. But that's my time for tonight, guys. Just wanted to bring this quick update to you guys. Make sure you guys are following us at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullscentralpod@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. And like I like to end every episode on, stay safe out there, see red, and as always, go Bulls. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.